Well, welcome back, everyone. I'm Marisa Walster, Senior Director and Business Strategy Lead at the Financial Health Network. As we continue to explore the why and how to build a business strategy around financial health, I am thrilled to welcome my three guests today to discuss the varied journeys that they and their organizations have been on to advance financial health. We have Bahari Harris, Vice President of Community Banking at Bank of America, Matt Holton, Senior Manager of Social Innovation at PayPal, and Jody Wigley, Senior Vice President of Customer Programs at Regions Bank. Welcome to Emerge Insights, gentlemen. We have so much to cover, so I'm going to jump right in. Jody, I'd like to start with you. Regions has a long history of supporting financial education. And more recently, you've really been a driving force behind expanding that to financial health measurement and using that data. Tell us a bit about sort of why financial health at Regions and sort of how that strategy has evolved.
Yeah, absolutely. And Regions has been committed to financial education for a very long time. Our Chief Marketing Officer, Michelle Elrod, our Head of Retail Bank, Scott Peters, they really curated, great articles, seminars, podcasts, and partnerships with some of the best content around financial health. It was all around a mission to help customers make better financial decisions and improve financial health. In a previous role, I was responsible for the program that took those seminars and we would deliver them to the branch small business and commercial clients. And we were doing 80,000 to 100,000 seminars per year. Some of those seminars might include how to improve your credit score or first-time home buyers. But we were always struck with a challenge, and that was an answer to the question of, what do we do well and how do we know? Well, we thought we were doing financial education extremely well. We had the articles, the content, the seminars, we had the rigor around going out and doing the presentation, but how did we know we were moving the needle? So Michael Sear, who many of you at the Financial Health Network know and love, introduced me to Darren at the Financial Health Network, and he showed me the financial health score, and it just sort of clicked. This is how we're going to know. This is how we're going to know if we're improving lives, if our seminars, our education, our tools and technology are actually moving the needle. So after coming back from an Emerge conference and being really excited about the financial health score, the measurement tool, it was all about building a coalition and a process. And so I would say Michael Sear and I became the financial health score evangelists. We went out and we shared the mission. We tried to create a narrative that was compelling. We shared the business case, and we really tried to build a community. And so to your question about who was the first at Regions to really take hold of the message, really it was our research partners in customer insights and analysis. They saw that as an opportunity to learn about our customers. It was our customer experience group that understood that we could do transparency by helping customers see where they stood in the financial health journey. And it was our marketing team, specifically our messaging team, that really thought this is a differentiator. We can truly help measure our customers' financial health and create that shared value that benefits both the customers and the communities. So I will say it's been a long journey, and we're really excited about where Regions is right now in that financial health journey process.
That's great. I think we hear a lot about sort of the different places that organizations start. And certainly you sort of started talking about leadership's involvement. And so Matt, I'd really like to sort of pose a question to you. At PayPal, your CEO, Dan Schulman, I think if anyone follows financial services, has probably heard him talk about financial health. How has having a executive leadership sponsor like that in an organization really affected how PayPal views financial health and how it operates?
Yeah, this is definitely a topic that Dan is very passionate about. And when he joined as CEO about 6 years ago, the mission that he and the executive team set for the company was for us to democratize financial services and ensure that everybody is able to participate in the global economy. So financial health is core to the strategy, which means it's not driven by one particular person or team within the company. It's brought to life by functions throughout the business. What that really enables is innovation to bubble up organically. So teams are empowered to use the tools and information at their disposal to recognize when there's issues and take action. So to give an example, a few years back, we had several teams that recognized that small businesses were having issues getting access to capital. So they came together, they used PayPal data to build PayPal working capital, which essentially allows small businesses to get access to funds and repay based on a percentage of their PayPal sales. So that started out as a pilot. It has now grown into over 15 billion to small businesses, and a lot of those funds are going to businesses and locations that have lost a large percentage of brick and mortar banks. Another way that this kind of model or approach comes to life is it allows us to collaborate and mobilize when our communities need our support the most. So during the pandemic, one of the things we were able to do is bring teams together to make quick decisions. So making decisions to do deferment of payments and waiving fees, but also we worked closely with the federal government to ensure that we could get stimulus dollars in people's hands as fast as possible. In addition to that, we really focused on how we could support underserved communities. So in June, we made a $530 million commitment to Black and minority communities who were particularly impacted by COVID, but also dealing with ongoing social inequality issues. And honestly, I don't think that would have been possible if we didn't have the strong commitment from leadership and alignment across the business.
Yeah.
One of the areas that we feel like we're needing to still do more is how do we get to the point of having kind of a common language as a business and having common metrics so that we're all pushing in the same direction. That's a part of our role as the social innovation team, is to partner with different teams throughout the business, help them identify and measure financial health of customers and employees, and then identify opportunities for us to be doing more to drive impact. And then ultimately, we want to get to the point of being able to set those overarching goals that are allowing all of our kind of combined work to go towards the same purpose.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds like collaboration is really sort of key for all of that.
Essentially.
Bahari, at an organization like Bank of America, which is large, I think, by anyone's standards, right? You have hundreds of thousands of employees all across the US and the world. Like, how does a financial health strategy get communicated? And how do you create that sort of collaboration across such a large organization?
Sure. And Marisa, thank you for those questions, and allow me to briefly answer by connecting the two themes that you raised in your questions with a single phrase. And that is, unless we all own the company strategy, it's not going to get communicated well. So at Bank of America, we are guided by a common purpose to help make the financial lives of our clients better through the power of every connection. And Bank of America is committed to helping our clients and communities to become more financially resilient. Through our community banking strategy that I have the privilege of leading, we bring together all of the bank's capabilities to connect our clients and our business owners and our communities to our tailored products and services, our entry-level jobs and capital to increase financial resilience and to help our local communities thrive. You know, we believe that when clients and businesses and communities are made stronger, we all benefit. So let me drill down to your question about communication in three primary ways: strategic planning, partner routines, and reporting. So when we think about strategic planning, we started our community banking strategy by visiting a number of our financial centers across the retail network that were serving mostly clients that were from low to moderate income backgrounds. We conducted a listening session, right, with our clients. We really wanted to figure out from our clients, what were we doing well and where did we have opportunities. Afterwards, we established a framework of financial behaviors that were frankly informed by you over at the Financial Health Network, that outline exactly how we should address the unique needs of our clients, while making sure that our associates in those centers receive the training that enabled them to have not just the knowledge, but the resources to be able to meet our clients and assist them with their short-term and long-term financial goals. Secondly, partner routines. So I lead a biweekly call that gathers stakeholders critical to driving the community banking strategy. These calls are a way for us to frankly listen to and learn about how financial health concepts are being implemented across the enterprise, particularly in product and marketing and in the lending spaces. And thirdly, reporting. To Matt's point, right, we have to create a common language. So on a quarterly basis, my team coordinates with 40 different partners to collect specific performance metrics, right? And then we deliver these quarterly to our investors, our board, and to our executives. And this reporting is a tool not only to communicate performance, but also to introduce a common language around community banking that really speaks to leadership. Let me close with a thought here. How we position the community banking strategy with all of our internal and our external stakeholders will ultimately determine just how transformative it'll be.
Yeah, I think that's a theme that we hear talking to many of our members. So that consistency, that infrastructure and process in place is really important. You make it sound relatively easy though. So I'd like to hear what is one of the challenges that you've faced in communicating and making sure that there is this sort of well understood strategy. Yeah.
So, let me pick up right where I left off, right? So how we position the community banking strategy with our internal and external stakeholders will ultimately determine just how transformative it can be, right? If we only talk about financial health as it relates to low and moderate income strategy, then it will ultimately become pigeonholed. So financial health must be seen as a value driver across client segments, across product types, and marketing initiatives. At Bank of America, we also believe that the client is at the center of everything we do, right down to how we design products and services based on a client's life plan and their financial needs. So in the community banking space, we focus on offering products and services that really set the foundation for banking for a client's entire financial lives, and really solutions that impact their financial behaviors, right? And so let me offer 3 examples. First of all, our Bank of America Advantage Safe Balance Banking. That's a really fancy name for our checking solution that prevents overdraft fees, right? So this is good for low balance clients, but it also includes students. It's a great option for students. This account, by the way, is certified by Bank On as being a fantastic option for those who are new to banking. Secondly, our Bank of America Secured Card that helps clients to build and strengthen their credit. This has implications across client segments, right? Any client that is establishing or rebuilding credit can benefit from this particular solution. It happens to be one of my favorite products because it directly influences and informs healthy credit behaviors while setting up kind of a graduation type experience. Thirdly, Keep the Change. It's a savings program that helps clients to build savings automatically while making everyday purchases with their debit card. It really presents a benign approach to savings for any client that wants to save, but doesn't feel like they have enough money or the discipline to. So, to close, positioning really is of utmost importance in terms of how we think about some of these challenges.
Yeah, and I think what I sort of got out of that is the coordination across the different products and the different business units is really important. Jody, I know that at Regions, you have an Underserved Committee. Can you talk about what that group does, who it is, and how it serves the financial health strategy?
I agree with my colleague at Bank of America that financial health is the right tool for all customers. It is a value differentiator. It's the right thing for a bank to do to understand and help people along the financial health journey. At Regions, we have a committee that we stood up focused on the underserved. This is a senior executive-led committee. It has our head of products, head of digital, it has our public relations, it has the leaders of our branches, a cross-functional team across the bank. And what we found is that about 30% of the customers in the region's footprint would be defined as underserved, so either unbanked or underbanked. And at Regions, we wanted to create an environment of financial inclusion. We wanted to make sure that we had the tools and the technology to help all customers. And so we created this Underserved Committee where we come and we talk about the needs of this customer segment. We challenge ourselves to say, are the products, the buildings, the process that we have, are we creating an environment of financial inclusion? Where the financial health score has really helped this conversation is it's another voice of customer data point. It's a place where we can understand what the customers are struggling with, particularly during a pandemic or other life struggles that they might be going through. Recently, as August, we actually took the financial health score and we put it into a customer-facing tool we call Greenprint. And Greenprint is just an opportunity for a customer to come into a branch, have a meeting with a banker, and really understand what is their next step along the financial health journey. And so I'm really excited about that step. So again, it will apply to all customers, but our Underserved Steering Committee is especially focused on those products and innovation like down payment assistance for our mortgage, deposit secured lending, our prepaid card, Western Union, other products, services, advice, guidance, and education that would be specific to that group. And again, the financial health score and the data that we're pulling out of that is going to help inform innovation in the future.
I mean, at the Financial Health Network, we are strong believers in the power of data. And so I'd like to dig in a little bit more there. Matt, I'm curious to hear, I know that you at PayPal have been measuring the financial health of your employees. How have you sort of gone about that process, and how are you using that data and sort of holding yourselves as sort of accountable to advancing financial health there?
Yeah, we have been addressing employee financial health for a while, but it's certainly picked up in urgency over the last couple of years. And our journey has been an interesting one. In 2018, we conducted a survey of hourly and entry-level employees, and we found that 2/3 of our employees were running out of funds between paydays. So even though we were paying at or above market, they still didn't have enough to make ends meet. So we undertook this process of trying to understand how much do employees need in order to be able to support their financial health. And so at the center of that is a calculation called net disposable income, which is essentially what's left after they've covered taxes and essential living costs. And so from there, we did an assessment of what does it look like in different parts of the country, in different parts of the world. And we found that for entry-level employees in some areas, we had NDI that was as low as 4%, which was obviously disappointing. In looking at where employees needed to be in order to be able to handle short-term, all their responsibilities in the short term, but also start to put funds away for their future, how much did they need? And we felt 20% was the right target. So in order to get there, what we did was put a series of actions into place. So we lowered the cost of healthcare expenses for hourly and entry-level employees by up to 60%. We made sure that everybody within the company is a stock owner and is eligible for stock awards going forward, regardless of level or tenure. And we made wage adjustments where it was appropriate. And then in addition to that, we put counseling services in place to really provide individualized support for employees. And what we've seen from that are some positive results. We're on track to hit 16% NDI by the beginning of 2021. And we have plans to accomplish that goal, the 20% goal, within the year. And then we've started to see other early indications, other positive indications. We've seen a reduction in the number of people who are running out of funds between paydays. We've seen an increase in employees investing in things like 401k, upgrading their healthcare plans. So we're optimistic about those results, but we also are still looking at this in the spirit of evolution. We need to continue to listen and learn, and we plan to implement new measurement tools and initiatives to really support employees along their journey.
Mm-hmm. I'd really like to ask kind of a question to all of you, which is what's next? You all are thinking very strategically about how to have financial health impact and how to integrate it across your organization. So maybe Jody, I'll start with you. What's next for you all? And how do you advance your impact on financial health?
I think much like the other panelists, it's about creating that common language and that common culture toward improving financial health. You know, we use the phrase creating shared value, something where our customers, our community, and our bank would receive the benefit. So for what's next for us is taking the data and the insights, potentially creating some clusters that we can apply to all of our customers so that we can then do some personalization to help improve the financial health. So how can we go and have a one-to-one conversation, a financial health coaching conversation, and really focus on improving that performance, taking transactional data and the financial health score and combining it to have a holistic view of our customer. And then just keeping that passion alive within the bank, understanding the mission around improving financial health and how important that is and how transparent we need to be with our customers that we are here to help.
Mm-hmm. Bahari, I'll go to you next because I know you mentioned a number of products that you have out in market, and you just launched 2 more, Life Plan and Balance Assist. So what is next kind of on this journey for Bank of America?
Yeah, Marisa, first of all, thank you for recognizing the launch of these 2 new client solutions, Life Plan and Balance Assist. These are huge for us, and you are correct. These will help to advance our financial resilience and strategy, and particularly as it relates to our spend and borrow and plan financial behaviors that we're all really familiar with at the Financial Health Network. In fact, Balance Assist joins our collection of what we are calling safe financial solutions for our clients, many of which I just named before: Safe Balance, Secure Card, Keep the Change. But also there's our affordable loan solution for home buying. All these solutions combined are empowering, simplified, and safe ways, right, for our clients to bank confidently while building their financial health and their financial resilience. The new Bank of America Balance Assist product won't be officially available until early next year. So in terms of next steps, to get really tactical, with the launch of any new product or service, we want to evaluate, how clients will adopt and use the product. And then we want to take what we learn from them to inform our future enhancements to better meet their needs, right? Our goal at Bank of America is to be proactive rather than reactive to the financial priorities and goals of our clients as they build their financial resiliency.
That's great. And Matt, I'll pose the same question to you. At a company that, feels like it is well organized around financial health and has all this, buy-in from the top, kind of what's the next step for you all as you think about creating this language that carries across the organization? Like what are the next steps for PayPal?
Well, I think, similar to what Bahari was sharing, I think we're looking at ways of being proactive, and we're looking at ways and we're starting to look outside of our own walls. So we're starting to look at ways that we can partner with and work with other organizations and other companies. We really feel like in order for us to build an economy that really works for all Americans, we need a critical mass thinking about things like employee financial wellness. Mm-hmm. So we actually have formed a new initiative called the Worker Financial Wellness Initiative in partnership with Just Capital, Financial Health Network, and Good Jobs Institute. And the goal is for us to bring corporate leaders together, for us to have discussions on this, but also to share tools and resources for how other companies can start to think about, doing wage assessments and financial health assessments with their own workforces. And then to start to draw some of those connections between what we see with worker financial wellness and corporate performance, and how those two things are connected. Mm-hmm.
That's great. We've got a question from the audience for Bahari. If you could maybe sort of quickly touch on the Keep the Change program that you mentioned. How does that work?
Yeah, so another one of my favorites. They probably are all on my favorite list, but it's where you use your debit card. You go and you make a purchase, and let's say that purchase is, I don't know, $5.75, right? We round it up to $6, and we take that 25 cents and store it away in your savings account, right? So again, it's a really benign way to build your savings and to see it just kind of creep up without really missing, the quarter that we moved from your checking to your savings account.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Jody, I'd like to sort of leave you with our, to close this out here, with the question of, if someone was to get started, building a financial health strategy within an organization, what's a piece of advice that you would give them? Where should they think about starting?
What I would say is find someone who has passion around the progress. Find someone in your organization that wakes up every morning passionate about financial health, and then use them as the catalyst to win others over and start building a network or a community around a common language. At Regions, that person has been Michael Sear, and he's really done a great job of getting financial score, financial wellness into multiple conversations around the bank. And so that would be my recommendation.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us, and for all the work that you're doing to advance financial health at your organizations. And I think hearing these stories certainly lights up so many ideas in my head about kind of the types of work that can happen within an organization. I think it's really helpful for our audience to hear about the varied ways in which these things can come to life within an organization. So up next, the Financial Health Network's own Chief Marketing Officer, Laura Barger, was going to be moderating a session with guests from J.D. Power and Edelman, which you may know from their Trust Barometer. And they will be exploring the connection between financial health, customer satisfaction, and trust. It's sure to be really insightful. So please stay tuned. We'll be back with you in just a moment.